Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Curtain week. I want to say 17/18. I want to say. But anyway, how's it going? Behind the Curtain is the series where every week, I go ahead and talk about my week and a running theme throughout it as well. I want to start by apologizing again. I'm sorry, I forgot last week, and I'm really sorry. I actually really wanted to record on last week as well. I had a topic I was going to talk about and everything. And I didn't. I apologize. I said I was going to do it Monday instead, and I didn't. And I'm sorry. I really am sorry. But yeah, it really slipped my mind. It's one of those things where like I can't film it on weekends either. So once I miss Friday, it's basically undoable. But yeah. Yes, so we're going to talk about the last 2 weeks, a running theme throughout. This one's going to get a bit topical, I guess, because you could probably guess what the theme is already by the title. But yeah, we're going to start off by talking about my week anyway. So, it's been pretty decent. The last 2 weeks have been a pretty good time until today, basically, and we'll get to that. The last 2 weeks, obviously, the job stuff has been a very running theme throughout everything. And I got a call up last week, basically, saying that somebody liked my application to somewhere, and then they were going to send it off to somewhere else, and then they were going to like keep me updated and try and find me any of the positions available, whatever. Yeah. Really good news, right? Because I've not had many responses of like anybody I've applied for, so pretty good news there. Had a typical university credit meeting. It was chill. It was fine. No worries. All that good old stuff. Last week as well, I guess, other than the kind of boringy stuff, we had the good old Blood Wars Origins rookies, which was so much fun. I'm not going to get into the ending and certain stuff that happened throughout because I don't want people to clip this and take it out of context or whatever, and I feel like they very much would. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to delve too deep into that. But that was really fun time, and I was, I really enjoyed that. And then the other thing, I guess, from last week, and actually literally the moment this video goes up, I'm streaming Among Us. So yeah, I got in the Among Us 5-up lobbies, which is awesome. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, big thanks to Alex Wolfie for kind of getting me there. I've wanted to play Among Us for a long time, and to be able to play Among Us with people that, and be on the same level as them, I really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. Because it got to a point where content creation very much felt like I was very behind, and nobody really cared or whatever, and blah blah blah. So it's really nice and appreciative to be able to be on par with people like 5-up and stuff like that. Really cool people. I really enjoy playing those games, and hopefully I'll keep on continuing to do so. And like I say, if you are watching this like as it comes out, I'm streaming Among Us right now. So yeah. But anyway, that leads us on to this week. This week is kind of the same old. More updates on the apprenticeship thing that I'll find out about next week, and all that sort of stuff. And then today sucked. And bear in mind, I'm recording this at 1:50 p.m. and it sucks already. So basically, I had a universal credit meeting today, and I don't know what I did wrong, but the woman was out for my blood today. Like, so you're meant to have the same person every time, right? Like your specific coach, but for whatever reason, I've not had for a couple of times. So, you just get random people who work there, and it's like, okay. And then, the last time I had a different guy, and he was so nice, really cool guy. He gave me quite a few compliments as well. I really appreciated it. You could tell that, I was a good person, and I had a lot of potential in jobs and stuff like that. And, yeah, needless to say, this woman didn't. And that's why I'm mad right now recording this. I'm in a very bad mood. So, basically, I went to this meeting, right, and, they basically just start saying stuff that is complete contrasting everything else I've ever been told. I got hit with stuff like, after 4 weeks of being on Universal Credit, you're expected to apply for anything you can physically do, which is the exact opposite of everything I've been told in the past. I was told that you shouldn't do that because then you just end up leaving that job and then looking for jobs again. So I don't know what she was cooking with that one. And then she was like, the meeting was the longest one I've had because she just wanted me to keep going. I'm like, bro, you're normally waffle for like 3 minutes and then like that's it. Like they can tell I know what I'm talking about. Nah, she wasn't having that. And then she was like trying to tell me to look at all these other things, and she was so persistent on this, like, oh well, that as far as I'm aware, I'll get it checked, but like as far as I'm aware, that's what that's what we do, the first 4 weeks you get to search for whatever, and then after that you search for, you apply for anything you can. It's like, bro, shut the hell up, man. Like, how are you going to contrast everything I've been told? And it's like, today's one of those days where, like, I've had a pretty decent last 2 weeks, right? Where, like, there's been some bad stuff, but, like, I've been chill, right? And I recognized that this morning, and I was even thinking of a different topic for this morning. I was like, you know what amazes me that I think about, like, the fact that, like, I've never truly been broken, right? Like, I don't want to speak out too much, but, like, blah, blah, I'll probably speak out a different week, but I've been through a lot, and obviously everybody has, but I feel like I've been through a lot of stuff where it would change my fundamentals and, like, my core and the way I react and care about stuff and whatever. And I'm still me, right? And I was thinking this morning, I was like, wow, you know, I should give myself more credit. And then this happened, I was like, bro, is the world listening to me? Is it trying to test me today? Like, what? And that's not all, chat. That's not all. We get to the... Not chat, oh my god. But we get to... Oh my god, I thought I was streaming for a second. We get to the end of the meeting, right? And then it's like, typical, like, oh, we'll book your next one. And then she's like, oh, I can't find anybody available. I was like, oh, what a shame. Maybe I'll have to, like, skip a week. Oh, no, anyway. Then she's like, oh, I found one for Tuesday. Brother, it's Friday. They expect me to spend one day searching for jobs and then report back on what I've done? Hello? Are they crazy? And then, oh my god. And then the next thing, they're like, is what time would you want? We got 3 o'clock or 10 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have 3 o'clock, please, similar to this time. So, yeah, I leave the building. They gave me the 10 a.m. one! Why? What did I do, bro? Like, honestly, today has just been one of those days where I've done absolutely nothing wrong and the world is just out to get me, bro. Like, I thought to myself, wow, I've been doing pretty decent. Like I'm proud of myself. Nah. World said no, bro. World said absolutely no. And this leads me on to the fire that's going to come into the second subject. But to end off today, well, not even end off today. I mean, today's still got a while going. But the second irritating thing to hell was a good old walking home, right? So basically, I walk home sometimes from this thing because it's cheaper than getting the bus, and I'm saving money, obviously. Yeah, so I got to walk home. I have to cut through like a golf kind of course thingy, like path, whatever. And I do that. And then midway through, there's a massive puddle, right, that I can't cross with mud at either side, right? So I'm gonna have to walk across. I like work out where like the least muddy bit is, put my foot in. My entire foot gets submerged in this mud, right? My entire foot. I took a picture. I sent it to Chrissy. I was molding. I was so mad. Like, everything today has been out to get me, and I'm like, I feel like it's not even over yet. It's 2 p.m. Like, it's 2 p.m. and things are already going horrible. I kind of want to just go to bed and then just give up on this day and then move on to the next one, right? But we'll see, you know. Anyway, that has been this week. That has been this week for me, chat. Well, this weekend, last week. I need to stop saying chat. Oh my god. Yeah, you can tell I'm very riled up, very mad at that sort of stuff because it's just stupid, right? Like we're all human, right? So if you're in a job, and this is gonna segue perfectly, where your whole thing is interacting with people, then like, come on, man. Realize what you're doing. Realize the impact that you're having, right? Which perfectly segues onto this week and last week's topic in general of content creation, content creators doing terrible things, and everything around that, right? That is the kind of thing that I felt like made the most sense to talk about this week. It's a very serious topic. I've not really touched anything this sort of serious that isn't just a personal thing. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about this week. It's something that it really matters to me. I mean, it really matters to everybody, to be fair. But and yeah, it's something that I feel like needs to be talked about, and it is pathetic. But anyway, sorry for the continued bad mood, but that's what we're doing today. We got a fiery energy. Content creators, right? If you haven't seen, in the last 2 or so weeks, there's been about like 4 content creators, like big content creators to my knowledge, that have had big like Twitter posts about accusations of things like sexual assault, abuse, and manipulation that came out. I'm not really going to name people because you guys know who they are already. But yeah, it is terrible, right? So it basically all sparked with one person coming forward with their story and being really brave and telling everybody about kind of what happened between them and the content creator and how terrible it was. People worked out how the content creator was. And then we kind of kept moving on. That inspired more and more people to talk about it, which is a great thing. It's fantastic that people felt safe enough to be able to talk about it. And it led us to find out that, 4 content creators within the last 2 weeks, I think it might even be 5 if I'm honest, have done some really terrible things and abused their power. And that is what I want to talk about, because it became like a joke, right? But back in the day, like the amount of it became like a dark humor joke, because a lot of the old school kind of YouTubers end up being like done for, came out that they did really bad stuff and that, you couldn't support them anymore. And it people said it's like a dark humor joke. They were like, oh, Minecraft content creators, that's what happens. but it happens still, right? Like, these stories are within the last, like, 1 or 2 years, right? These stories happened. Insane, right? Absolutely insane that these things have happened, right? And it's because of so many different things, right? The fact that the big thing for me, obviously, first of all, is the things they've actually done are terrible. And, you know, support victims, those people who went through absolutely terrible stuff, and I hope they're all doing good as best as they can be, and I hope that it's given them some sort of good feeling that they're able to kind of get that out there, and it's no longer just, like, hidden, kept on their chest and all that. But, like, the crazy, absolutely insane thing to me, right, is, besides those actions, which is mind-boggling, and I could never understand ever contemplating doing some of those actions, right, well, basically all those actions. Imagine, right, imagine you have what is arguably the best, most prestigious job in the world, right? Your life is making people happy. Your life is entertaining. You are a role model. You are an inspiration. You are the reason why people grow up to be the people they are, right? You are the reason why people have the humors they have. You are the reason why people just get to laugh and smile when they struggle, right? Imagine having that, right? That ability, your livelihood is based off of just making people feel good, right? And you mess that up, right? How on earth do you physically do that? How do you mess up, like, right, being a content creator, the only thing that you need to do to be a content creator is make content, right? That's the only thing you need to do. You have to make content in some way, whether you consistently do it or whatever. You just have to make content, right? The only thing you have to do, right, realistically, to be a, like, understandable content creator is be a good person, right? That is it. That's the minimum, right? Like, all you gotta do to be a content creator, like, all you gotta do to like, have it, keep your rep, keep, you know, whatever, just be a good person, right? And it's easy to be a good person when things go well for you, right? Like, when things are going well, it's easier to be good, right? It's easy to be like, oh, hey, if this thing's, you know, I don't have to worry about a job, I don't have to worry about money or whatever, you know, I don't have to worry about being able to pay for food this month or anything like that. You're able to be a better person because you don't have that weight dragging down on you, right? You don't have that weight of every month struggling with money. You don't have that weight of, you know, working a 9-to-5 job that you despise. Imagine having that ability and somehow messing up being able to be a good person, right? When there are so many people out there that struggle day to day yet still have a smile on their face. Like, it's crazy. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand, obviously they'll still have their struggles. Like, everybody struggles with relatives and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously, right? Makes perfect sense, right? But imagine one of the biggest, like, causes of like, bad mental health and stuff like that is jobs and money and stuff like that. Imagine you have a gift of that, right? Where your job, you get to just spend time with friends, you get to entertain, right? And you abuse that, right? You can't manage to just be a good person despite that. Absolutely insane, right? As I don't know if I've said this before on these videos, right? But as a content creator, you have a responsibility, right? You have a huge, huge responsibility. And I'm not trying to downplay that, right? Like, you have a massive responsibility to be good, right? To do good, to be a good influence, to be a good person. You have a huge responsibility to do that. And I get that, right? That can be hard. It can just be like, you know, growing up in a family and they want you to be a certain kind of person. I get it. That's hard. It's not easy growing up with, you know, a rep. You know, of being like, oh, I have to live up to this, right? That's not easy, right? But how is that any harder than it takes to just be a bad person, right? Like, it's hard to, you know, sometimes you can lose sight, you know, maybe you'll have an off day, right? You can have an off day, maybe you'll snap at somebody, maybe you'll be upset at somebody, you know, and you'll regret it the day later, blah, 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 right? How can you do something to that level when you have such a fortunate life, right? It for the most part, right? How can you take all of that and then, like, torment a living human being to that level that all those content creators this past 2 weeks have done? How can you physically do that? Like, it doesn't make sense in my mind. I don't, and it like burns me to my core that there are people out there who, and this is what it is, right? You know what the main cause of it is, right? Back when YouTube first started, people did it because it was a passion. People did it because they wanted to entertain. That was the way they could do it. They didn't do it because they could make money. They didn't do it because it was a job, right? Because it wasn't back then, you know. When YouTube first came out, there was no money. You just created videos because you wanted to create videos. Nowadays, people have grown up knowing it's possible, right? People have grown up knowing, you know what? I could make a living off of making videos. And then they get that, right? Like, somehow they upload one video and it blows up, and they just magically get all that fame. They get all that power. They get all that care, that love, that attention, right? And they abuse that. It goes to their heads because they've never earned it, right? They went in being like, oh, you know what? I can make it big off this. Let me just try and make a video, see how it goes. It goes big, and then they're huge. They've not experienced the torment. They've not experienced the suffering, you know, to the levels that so many of the people have, or the people that grew up doing YouTube when it was so tiny did, right? And then they just abuse that. They don't realize the value of what they have. They don't, and this is a topic I've brought up in the past, right? Knowing the value, you know, not knowing how important something is until it's gone. And I'm sorry for being vocal and, you know, more aggressive today, but it just shows how I'm already in a bad mood today, right? But I was already going to talk about this and be in this sort of mood for this sort of topic anyway. It just absolutely is insane to me that the best, as you guys will probably agree, right? The best job role you could have, and you manage to not only like mess that up and fail society, fail society, fail the people you were supposedly closest to, right? But you managed to do it so badly that you like can permanently have just permanent repercussions on an innocent person's lives. That like, I just can't believe it. I can't believe how much this happens. It is disgusting. It's terrible. I wanted to comment. I made a brief comment on it on Twitter about, you know, reaching out to people, and you know, I'm going to repeat it here. If you're ever struggling, if you've been through anything like that, I implore you. I want you to try your hardest to, you know, find somebody to speak up to. You know, just get it off your chest to someone, whoever that may be, right? Like, if you are somebody I've spoken to like once in my life, obviously I can't sit there and be there for everybody as much as I would love to. But if you really need somebody, you know, I'm here. You know, all your friends, I'm sure, are there. Your family will be there. You have more people than you realize, right? That will support you through anything, no matter what. And don't bottle this sort of stuff up. You know, speak up. So that you can, you know, be safe. So that you can have people. You know, you will have people in your corner. You know, and I think that's the important thing. That's why I tweeted, was like, I didn't want to be like a downer with the whole situation, right? When everybody's talking about it, I didn't want to keep bringing it up back up, right? Because I didn't want to keep upsetting people, keep bringing up that torment, right? But, you know, I was tempted to tweet about it again as more stuff came out. But at the end of the day, it's just like, it's not hard to be a good person. And content creator, well, actually, no, it is kind of hard to be a good person. I'll give you that, right? When things go bad, when things aren't working out, it can be hard to be a good person, right? It can be. I get it, right? I get it, you get it, your friends get it, your family get it. It can be hard to be a good person. It is harder to do the right thing, right? But that's why you do it, because it's the right thing. And when you are in a position where it's easier to do the right thing, and you don't, it is insane. It is absolutely insane that you manage to be a content creator, have all that fame, have all that power, have all that money, have all that love, all that care, and you abuse that, and you fail every single person that's ever watched your content. Insane. And I'll never get my head around it. But I guess the thing to take apart from this is, at the end of the day, with content creators, as hot, like, as crushing it is to say, you can't truly trust who a content creator is behind the screen. You never truly do know. But also, on the flip side, you know, I try and look at things in a better light. It's not everybody, you know, and that obviously that doesn't excuse people's actions, nor should it mean you shouldn't be more vigilant with the people you support, and the people you put your neck out on the line for. But there are a lot of good people out there. You know, there's a lot of good creators that I've met that I can tell, you know, that are good people. It's not everybody, and this doesn't mean that content creation is a inherently bad platform. All it means that is right now, people who create content in general are failing us, and they are messing up. And, you know, I mean, I'm messing up. We all mess up in different degrees, right? Like, I'm messing up. I'm not uploading. You know, I'm not uploading on my main. I'm not streaming. I'm not uploading on here consistently. I'm messing up. All content creators are messing up. And we, as content creators, we all need to do better. You know, whether it is, you know, with just uploading, or whether it is with doing insanely stupid things, lifelong affecting things like that. We all need to do better. And the final thing is obviously support victims, support the people who are coming out with, who've got all the struggle. Be there for people. You know, if somebody's not feeling good, or if somebody doesn't seem 100%, be there for them. You know, comfort them and help each other out. Because at the end of the day, we only get through life. We only get through all this with each other. And that's kind of all I have to say on this. Sorry for a bit of a ramble, sorry for a bit of a long one, sorry for a bit of an aggressive one, but I hope you guys can get the point. It's a really important topic and it really needs to be talked about. But thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, guys.